Hey yogis, welcome back. I'm sorry I've got to crouch down into this camera lens every single time. Tripods don't want to be on the exact same level, so one's high, one's low. So here I am. Today we've got yin yoga. So I would say yin yoga, we've done this a couple times before. We've mashed it up. We've done yin yang and we've done just regular yin. Today we're doing just regular yin. So we'll be doing some really deep stretches. We'll be holding for a couple minutes in each pose. Nothing too crazy. But these will be deep stretches. We'll be down on the mat for the entire class today. So I recommend, if you're on a hard surface, having a thick mat. It's going to feel much better on the hips and the knees rather than no mat. If you're on a carpet, you're probably fine. A couple props that you guys can use today. I've got 2 blocks set up next to my mat. You can have stacks of pillows. You can have some rolled up blankets. Maybe you want to use some of those Amazon boxes from the deliveries you guys have been getting. But yeah, I'm going to bring a rolled up blanket to my mat and 2 blocks. Also, we have an optional pose at the end today for a really nice neck release. So I have a strap here. You guys can go on Amazon and get these for anywhere from $5 to $8. So you don't need to get anything really expensive. If you're crafty, this is just cotton weaving. So if you guys can see this, it's really simple. And then there's like a clasp on the end. And you can really just use little metal hooks, or you can use this plastic thing. So I'm gonna connect the 2 ends here. And really all this is doing is just creating a giant loop. So it's gonna act as a cradle for our head today. So if you don't have this, oh, another good thing you could use, actually, if you don't have a strap, a lot of you guys have yoga mat carriers. Let me see. I've got a yoga mat carrier here that my mat from Second Wind Health came with, and it's basically got 2 loops on the end that you can slide your mat into, and then basically this thing goes over your shoulder so you don't have to carry the mat in your hands. But today, if you have this, you can use this as your strap. So you would just bring the loops up quite small, and you can place your feet in here, okay? So whatever you guys have, bring it over to your mat. And we're gonna start on our back today. So everybody come down into a Shavasana, and preferably head at the back of the mat today, feet up towards the front, and just lower down completely flat on your back. From here, just bring the legs together. Settle down the shoulders, soften through the hips, and let the toes flop out to the sides. Close the eyes, take a deep breath in. Pause when you get to the top, and then exhale out the mouth. We'll do that again. Breath in. Feel the rib cage expand. Pause at the top, and then open the mouth and sigh it out. Last one, breathe in and out. I just close the mouth here, breathing in and out of the nose. Really deep, really slow. Feeling the body get a bit heavier here. And then option to keep the eyes closed, or go ahead and open them. You'll take a deep breath in, stretch your arms high over your head. Exhale, swipe them back down so that this way your arms are along your sides, palms facing down. Inhale, sweep it all the way up, stretch out nice and long from your toes to your fingers. Exhale, arms by the sides. Again, inhale. Exhale. This time, breathe in, stretch the arms up. Exhale, just land here. So the whole body goes soft again. Toes out to the sides, heavy through the heels, back of the head. And then just letting the shoulders come crash down towards the mat. Take another deep breath in. And out. And then this time, inhale, get long again. As you exhale, walk your arms over to the left side of your mat. Bring the palms together to touch overhead so that the thumbs are pressing down into the ground. So you can feel a stretch right here growing up the right side body. And then all you're going to do is take the legs over to the left, either bringing the ankles together to touch and flexing the feet, or take that right ankle on top of the left ankle, just crisscrossing, and roll your right outer hip down towards the ground. Let's soften the stomach muscles. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, press the hips down and try to get flat through the spine here. Inhale, reach. Exhale, feel that stretch. We've got about 1.5 minutes here. And YIN, unlike restorative yoga, we're not really relaxing in these poses. I'd like for you to really try to stretch as much as you can. So there's a lot of work happening in this pose. As you keep reaching, I want you to breathe into that stretch, getting deeper, getting longer every round. See if you can try to soften the shoulders a bit. Even though the fingers are reaching out, the shoulders are not reaching with it. Couple more rounds of breath. For this last round of breath, see how long you can get. Exhale into the stretch. Keep your hands where they are. Just walk your legs back to that neutral position, followed by the arms, one arm at a time, landing back completely flat. Breath in and out. Inhale, stretch everything out long. Exhale, both arms over to the right. So it's just the top portion of your body that's moving here. Hands come into that prayer pose over your head, and you'll start to move the legs out to the right. If you crisscross the ankles last time, let's do that again. Breathe in, get long. Breathe out, roll that left hip down. Keep breathing, nice and big breath. Nice long out breath. See if you can pull the stomach muscles in here. Each exhale, your navel draws in closer towards your spine. Feet remain flexed, like you're trying to stretch out through the heel. Left shoulder stays on the ground. And soften the glute muscles. Maybe you can even try to find some length along the right side body here too. So trying to lift up from the right hip into the right armpit as you stretch over. Just a couple more rounds here. For this next breath in, get as long as you can, stretching to 100%. And then exhale. Slowly walk the legs back to neutral, followed by the arms. Breath in. Breath out, soften. Okay. From here, you'll just rock over onto your left side body. And I want you to press yourself up. I'm going to be using a block for this pose. So we're doing a subscapular release. And basically, that's just this muscle right here. So it's a heart opener. It's a muscle opener. And this is really the meridian line in your body that's leading to the heart and the lungs. So it's rare that we really have an opportunity to stretch deep into a pose like this. All you're gonna do is take your prop, whether it's stacked pillows or a rolled up blanket. I've got my block. Block is actually a bit more painful because you're resting your body weight on this thing and you don't have much soft tissue right here to protect yourself. So you can always take your mat, roll it on top of the block. That'll help a lot. So all you're gonna do is take the block or the prop right about, I would say, a couple inches underneath your armpit. So it's not directly underneath the armpit. It's just a couple inches below it. And then you'll come on to your left elbow and then just drop your head into your left hand. Right hand, the top hand, is coming down in front of you. And I want you to roll back just a little bit. And you'll notice there's a slight sensation right here. Once you hit that trigger, you know you're in the right spot. And we're going to hold this for about 3 minutes. So come into that breath. A pose like this, actually, because it's your first time, you may notice that it is a little bit painful. Just use your breath to get through this. Now, if it's bad pain and you're feeling sharp pains because you are using a hard cork block like I am, just drop it down to some pillows. You've also got the option here, legs bent or legs long. I find that it's a bit easier on the muscle that we're stretching or releasing, to have the legs bent. A little bit less weight right on that area. A little bit more weight taken out of it through the bottom half of the body. And then just close down the eyes. Try to relax here. Always coming back to the breath. Remaining present so that you can feel every sensation as you release. You may be wondering, like, man, how is this going to feel afterwards? It feels amazing after. I know that's hard to believe because this is a bit trying, but it feels really good once you come out of this pose. So it's worth it, I promise. Let's see if we can bring our awareness completely towards that subscapularis muscle. Notice the release. We've got a minute left. Last 3 rounds of breath. Carefully on your next inhale, use your top hand. Apply a little bit of pressure here to lift your head up, straighten your bottom arm out, ooh, and come up to seated. Just go ahead and fix out your mat. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So, set yourself up so that you're now towards the front of the mat. I actually really prefer having the mat on top of the block. It makes a world of a difference for me. And then get yourself set up. Couple inches, maybe 2 to 3 inches underneath the armpit, just below. And then the elbow comes down onto the ground, head rests in the hand, top hand down onto the mat in front of you. Rock your weight back slightly. 3 minutes. Focus on your breathing, the depth of the breath, and then focus on the release of that muscle. One minute left here. And very carefully, you'll press that top hand down, lift your head up out of the hand, and then press yourself up. Okay, you're just gonna move the blocks off to the side for a second here. We'll come into a tabletop. Spread your fingers really wide and switch the hips from side to side. And come back to a neutral position here. 2 rounds of cat-cow. Inhale to lift. Exhale to round. Inhale, pull your chest through. Exhale, round it out. Inhale, come back to neutral. Just walk your legs back behind you. You're gonna come flat down onto the stomach. Let's take those 2 props, whatever you have, stack of pillows or blocks. I would say, depending on how loose your shoulders are, you may want to play around with this. My shoulders tend to be a little bit open, actually. So I'm going to have mine on a medium setting today. If you would like to take it down a notch, you can always come down onto the lowest setting. So I'll be showing you guys here. The blocks will be straight out in front of my shoulders. And then from here, you just want to bring the elbows up on top. Slowly lower your forehead down onto the mat. Bring your hands into a prayer position right at the base of your neck. Bring the big toes together to touch. Swish the hips from side to side. And then soften everything completely down in through your mat. We've got a few minutes here. I want you to focus on the stretch that's happening not only in the shoulders, but through the side body and the armpit as well. Focus there. Take a few rounds of breath. And you can start to bring your awareness towards that release through the neck here. And if you're anything like me and your fingers start to go a little bit prickly, just breathe into that. That's normal. Deep breath in. Sigh it out. Seal the lips. Breath out of the nose. Continue just like that. One minute left. Last breath here. Inhale, stretch your arms out long in front of you. Lift your gaze up and then just release your arms down onto the ground. From here, you'll just press yourself up into a tabletop and then come to sit down just on your bum. You're gonna pull your left foot in, right leg goes long, so half dragonfly here. You'll flex your right foot and then point the toes. Flex, point, flex, stay flexed. Taking that prop onto the highest setting here, right about to the inside of the right knee, and then sitting up really tall. Take a deep breath in, hands come behind the head. Exhale, draw the stomach muscles in, take your right elbow to the top of your prop. Keep the elbows wide, keep drawing the stomach muscles in, and then look up towards your left elbow. 2 minutes here. Keeping that core engagement along with right foot flexion. Finding a little bit more length through the left side body and the right side body here. So trying not to slouch into the right side. We want to be lifting and lengthening on both sides. Halfway through. Trying to find a bit more opening on every exhale. Final breath. Inhale, elbows come out wide as you sit up tall. Release the arms. Give your shoulders a little roll here. And then we'll just switch sides. So left leg goes long out to the side, right foot pulls in. Prop to the inside of the left leg. You'll flex the foot, point the toes. Sit up really tall, flex, and point. Stay flexed. Sit up really tall, hands behind the head. I can't stress this enough. We're really trying to stretch the obliques here. I want you to find as much length as you can, and then when you exhale, that left elbow comes over towards the left prop. Breath in, out, open. Squeeze the core. Halfway through. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, release the arms. Again, just a few shoulder rolls here. Move that prop out to the side. And we'll just sit on the shins here. So you can face any way on your mat. All we're doing is extension and flexion through the wrists here. So this is really good if you guys are doing a lot of vinyasas, just a lot of down dogs in general. All we're gonna do here is plant the palms down onto the mat, sit back, a lot of weight in towards the heels, and then spin the fingers towards the knees. So this is your wrist extension right here. We're extending the entire back of the arm. And from here, all you want to do is try to apply a little bit of pressure into the palms, right where the wrist starts to meet the ground. And then sitting back a little bit more towards the heels. Just about 4 breaths here. So this yin practice today is focusing on the stretch and release of the entire upper body. I don't know if you guys noticed. But really just trying to open everything up. Let's take one final breath here. Spin those fingers back around and then just walk your hands back so you can sit up on the shins. Now we're doing the wrist flexion. Just take the outsides of the hands to the side body and then allow the weight of your elbows to pull down towards the mat. From here, you just press into the backs of the hands. About 4 more rounds of breath here. Find some length through the spine. Crown of the head is reaching up. Last breath. Release the hands, shake them out, maybe roll them out. And then you'll come lengthwise on your mat to face forward. Set everything off to the side. You're not going to need it for this. And then just come into a tabletop position. So the hands are down underneath the shoulders, knees right underneath the hips. And we're keeping the hips high here. So notice that my hips are stacked directly above my knees. You want them to stay here. From here, take a deep breath in. Exhale, begin to walk your hands forward. And then slowly starting to lower the chest or the chin down to the mat. Now, if you've got your prop, you can always take it right underneath your chin or your chest, whatever wants to come down and meet on the ground. And I want you to remain active for the first few rounds of breath here. As you draw the stomach muscles in, the elbows are lifted off the ground. Fingers are reaching forward. Chest is slowly lowering closer and closer towards the mat. Then go ahead, start to soften the elbows down towards the ground. Resting the entire arm onto the mat, followed by the chest. So the chest starts to move closer and closer to the mat. Maybe it's not there yet. Maybe you need to have that rolled up blanket or the prop right underneath. Wherever you are, I want you to keep engaging the core muscles. Press down through the tops of the feet, maybe a little bit more firm than you were. And focus on the stretch now through the side body, moving up into the armpit. Focus on the stretch through the shoulders. 2 more breaths. Carefully press into the palms. Start to lift the chest away from the floor and walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Now from here, again, shift everything from side to side. Maybe you want to go ahead and just roll through the body a few times, whether it's cat-cow. Maybe it's just shifting everything from side to side. But then we'll come to land in our tabletop once again. From here, thread the needle. Right arm reaches out to the right side. Breathe in. Exhale, thread your right arm through your left arm and your left thigh, lowering down onto the right shoulder and the right side of your head. Now, again, block can always come underneath that side of your face. A little bit more assistance here, so you don't have to come all the way down on the ground. Wherever you go, your right palm is facing up. Draw those stomach muscles in. Option to take your left arm high. Breathe in. Exhale, wrap it around your low back. Palm faces out. Or you can go ahead and tap the fingers on top of your right thigh. Roll that left shoulder blade away from you. Breathe in. Breathe out. Stretch open. We've got about a minute total here. So let's try to stretch as much as we can. Deep breath in. And long breath out. Final breath. Left arm comes all the way back up if it's behind you. Plant the palm down by your face. Pull the right arm out all the way up towards the sky. Open up through the right side. Exhale, plant your right hand down. Inhale, left arm reaches out to the left side. Exhale, thread through the opposite side. Palm is facing up as you lower down. Option to stay here, keep the core engaged, or inhale the right arm high. Exhale, wrap it around. Open up, draw the right shoulder back, twist through the spine. Engage the core. Inhale, right arm reaches high. Exhale, plant it down, press into the palm, unravel, left arm reaches up. Exhale, left palm down. And let's just sit back towards the heels here. Knees will come wide. Big toes remain touching through the back body. And walk the hands straight out in front. Now keep the shoulders and the armpits lifted away from the mat for just a moment here. Right arm is going to reach underneath the left side. Again, palm is facing up, but this time your left hand is reaching forward and you lower down onto the chest with your hips pressing back towards the heels. So getting really long through the left side body here, and then stretching everything through the, I would say, right shoulder, moving up in towards the muscle surrounding the right side of your spine. Chin comes down towards the mat. Stomach muscles drawing in. One minute total. Continue to reach in opposite directions. Inhale, lift the chest. Bring the right arm back up alongside the left arm. Other side, left arm reaches underneath the right armpit. Palm faces up. Fingers reach out to the sides as the right hand reaches forward. Armpit is lifted. Chin lowers down towards the mat or a prop. Hips moving back. Breath in. And out. Again, deep breath like that. Squeeze the stomach muscles and lean back. Final breath. Inhale, lift your chest, unravel. Stay low to the mat. Slide forward so that you come completely onto your chest. Legs go long, straight behind you. From here, your right arm reaches out to the right side and your right ear comes to the ground. Slowly, you'll rock over onto your right side body and then just stamp your left foot behind your right thigh or your right knee. Use this left hand right here as a lever to either press back a little bit more into the right arm or to catch you as you start to roll forward. Now, if you don't need this arm for stability and you'd like to get more of a stretch through the collarbone and the left shoulder, inhale, stretch the left arm high. Exhale, bring it back behind you. Tuck the fingers underneath your right side body. Stay here for 1 minute. Really deep breathing here. And see if you can rock a little bit more weight back into that right palm. Breathing into the right shoulder area. Nice and slow, we'll unravel. Left arm reaches up, palm comes down by your face. Slowly rock back over onto your chest. Straighten the left leg out long. We'll neutralize first by bringing the right hand in and coming down onto our chin. Other side, left arm extends left, left ear comes to the mat. Slowly press into the right hand, move your weight over onto your left side. Right foot stamps behind the left leg. Bring the knee to face up so you can start to open through the side body. And then if you chose the right or the left shoulder opener on the other side, let's do it through the right side here. Right arm reaches up. Exhale, wrap it around your back, tuck the fingers underneath the side body. Continue to pull the shoulder blade back. And you don't need to be still here in this pose. You can play around with this shape. Feel free to drop the knee back a little bit heavier, or maybe you want to bring it forward a little bit more. Find a position that works for you where you feel like you're getting the most out of this stretch through the left arm. Inhale your right arm high. Exhale, plant the palm down. Rock your way over onto your chest. Come onto your chin. Pull the left hand in. One breath in. As you breathe out, press yourself up. Knees go wide, coming down into just your regular child's pose. So we're going to start out with our knees wide here. Knees about as wide as the mat, maybe even a little bit wider if it feels good. And then with your toes touching, you sit your hips back towards the heels. Walk your hands forward. Lower the forehead down to the mat or a prop. And then rest the elbows. Couple rounds of breath here. Soften the stomach muscles. Maybe rock your head from side to side. And let's start to activate this child's pose. Reach the arms forward, elbows lift. Heavy those hips back towards the heels. Couple rounds of breath here. You can even press into the palms to push all the weight towards the back of the mat. Inhale, lift your chest up, walk your hands back, bring the thighs together to touch, closed knee child's pose. So same thing, walk the hands straight out in front, lower the chest on top of the thighs, head down to a prop or the mat. Rest your elbows first, breath in, and out. 2 more like that. Activate, walk the hands forward, elbows lift, shoulders pull back, hips press back. Breath in and out. Get longer through the side body on the exhale. Inhale, walk your hands back, lift your chest, sit up tall, shoulders towards the ears, round them down the back. Okay, coming all the way down onto your back, Head towards the back of the mat, feet up towards the front. Settle in. Take a deep breath in and out. Pull both knees up in towards the chest here. Give them a little bit of a squeeze. And then rock both knees over to the left as your right arm reaches out to the right. Supine twist here. Core muscles are engaged. As you squeeze, you want to twist. Right shoulder is rooted down into the mat. Left shoulder is rooted down into the mat. And start to soften the gaze here. And just let the hips and the knees get really heavy. Three more breaths. Inhale, bring your gaze back up towards the ceiling. Both knees come up towards the center. Let's give them another squeeze. Pull them in, drop them right. Trying to keep, because we're working on the upper body here, I really want to start to focus a little bit more on the top portion of the spine and the middle portion of the spine. Pull your knees up in towards your chest, nice and close. Then start to open the arms out to the sides. Maybe even take your right hand, plant it on top of the thighs. Give it a little bit more weight here so you can twist deeper. Couple rounds of breath. Inhale, gaze up towards the center. Nice and slow, bring the knees towards the center. Give them one last squeeze. And then just step your feet down onto the mat. Now, for that neck release I was talking about in the intro here, I've got my strap here, so find something that works for you. Maybe it's a bathrobe cord, maybe it's a rope and you can just loosely tie it at the end. This is gonna feel really good. So if you don't have one now, you can always come back to this video and try it later. But all we do is settle down onto the mat. I want you to take the flat surface underneath your head and then bend your knees a ton and you'll start to bring the feet up to the inside of the strap here. Now just make sure that this strap, like right now, mine is right at the back of my neck. We don't want that. We want the strap to be right about the middle of your skull. And then from here, you slowly start to straighten the legs. Let the arms drape down by the sides. And then you are controlling this with your legs. So if you bend, it's a little bit less intense. If you straighten, we've got a lot more going on here. So you guys decide to dive into this however you like. It feels amazing. You can stay in this pose for a couple minutes as long as your feet don't go completely numb. This is another really good pose to do right when you first wake up in the morning or right when you go to bed at night. Just really relaxing the joints through the shoulders and the neck. You can always rock it out from side to side. Play around with these. Make it your own. Feel free to stay in this pose for as long as you like. Otherwise, come down into Shavasana. Neutralize everything in your body. Bring the toes out nice and wide. Lengthen the arms along the sides, palms face up, shoulders shift underneath, and then just settle down and back. Close the eyes. Let's take 2 rounds of breath here together. This next exhale, right out the mouth. Soften into your Shavasana. Release the tension of any of the poses we just did. I want everything in your body now to just soften and lie relaxed. I will leave the Shavasana for you to do however long you like or in any way you like. Stay for a long time, guys. I hope you enjoyed your YIN class today. We will be back tomorrow with beginner flow, and I'm looking forward to getting my stretch on with you guys again. Have a great rest of your day. Namaste.